Do you remember that scene in Godfather 2 when Michael Corleone says, "Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in"? Well, that's how we've all felt several times about the delightful town of Kenosha, Wisconsin over the past couple of years. And today we're going back yet again because developments are in the air and they don't produce a particularly good smell. Do you know the name of Joshua Ziminski? Do you remember his name? Say his name, Joshua Ziminski. Actually, maybe don't, because this guy is a certifiable, literally weapons-grade douchebag. He's the guy who allegedly fired the first shot in the air the night that Kyle Rittenhouse, whom we've had on this show, was being chased by Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. You'll remember them, of course, the poster children for the F Around and Find Out committee, who got murked for playing stupid games that promised stupid prizes. Mr. Ziminski just found out the other day he found himself once again at the mercy of the courts after being charged with felony arson and misdemeanors of obstructing an officer and disorderly conduct with a deadly weapon. Listen, I get up pretty early in the day, but I don't think I'm anywhere near as productive as this asshole. This dude has robbed people left and right, sometimes with his wife, Kelly. Yeah, he includes his wife on it. I guess the couple that attempts to slay together is apt to stay together. Kind of romantic when you really think about it. Oh, and by the way, the latest of those robberies was at knifepoint and was while he was awaiting trial for the arson case. He's kidnapped people, taking them to the ATM, demanding that they withdraw cash and give it to him. This, in short, because has a list of bad crap he's done too long to go fully into. This guy's bad news. And it leads me to a rather controversial question, one which might not be popular, but which I feel needs to be asked. Is it possible, just possible, that the criminal justice system existing within the bounds of the city of Kenosha, Wisconsin, is maybe just a little bit lacking? Now, how in the world is it possible that this guy spends more time out on the streets than looking at them through a set of bars? I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but what the hell is going on in these blue cities? Listen, I understand the notion behind criminal justice reform. There's no doubt that improvements can and should be made all over this country when it comes to law enforcement and the jail and prison systems. And there's good people out there making compassionate, logic-based cases for some, and I stress some of the available changes. But it is the nature of the left to go off the deep end and take any good idea and run it into the ground through the Earth's core and pop out the other side of the planet with it. The answer to crime isn't to take a light hand to violent people. It just isn't. This Ziminski dude should have been in a clink a hell of a long time ago where he wouldn't have been able to hurt the people he's been doing that to, that he's been doing since. And in closing, let me go back to where I started. You probably never heard of this guy, and guess what? You're probably not going to hear about this guy other than places like, well, right here on this show. But there's no question you know the name of Kyle Rittenhouse. And if you're watching this show, you probably understand him in a realistic context. But if you're a follower of the mainstream media, you no doubt even today know him as a monster, a murderer who got away with it OJ style on national television. Why is that? Why is it that the media covers these two men completely opposite of what they deserve? Could it be there's an agenda? I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know, but preaching to the choir is fun sometimes. Ziminski.
Breathe, Chad.
This world we're living in, dude.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I want to start a GoFundMe for Martha's Vineyard, I tell you.